Brood, before we get on to the episode, okay, and for those listening, we just released our previous episode, The Gifts of Gaming, Part 2.
Yeah.
And one of our listeners actually gave us some feedback about that episode.
The first feedback
The first
of
review.
the ThyGap podcast ever.
The first review, yeah. And it goes...
Do I give a drum roll?
I heard the second episode of the gaming podcast. I think this is among the ThyGap's best.
Oh.
There was a lot of info and circling back to how it affects mindset in growing minds, especially in understanding the various levers in a society and your place in it. Same with movies and sports, but gaming is rarely discussed, or it is discussed on very niche platforms to this depth. So well done. And a thumbs up.
Claps. Are we going to reveal who actually gave this review?
One of our dear listeners. I mean, that's all we need to
Ardent
say.
followers is the word.
That's all we need to say. And
Yeah.
mindthygap@gmail.com for anyone else listening.
mindthygap@gmail.com. Guys, that's where you need to go and give us your feedback.
Yeah, or even better, leave a review on social media itself, one of the platforms, Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Go for it.
Go for it. Welcome one and all to the all-new ThyGap podcast episode. This is the Dark Swamp series. I'm your favorite host, being Brute, and with me,
Bogus Noog.
Bogus, wake up. Don't get lost in your own notes. Stop doing that.
I thought you'd be giving a better cue, but you just
What do you mean
jumped
by
it
cue?
all of a sudden.
We've been doing it for 180 episodes, out of which we only published 40.
Right.
But 180 episodes is a decent... You need to look at me. Udhar kya dekh raha hai? Gandu, idhar dekh. You know who said this?
MS Dhoni.
MS Dhoni, the great MS Dhoni said this to
Wow.
Manish Pandey.
This is probably one of the most inspirational quotes that's going to be coming out of a ThyGap podcast. We'll get that on a t-shirt as well.
Udhar kya dekh raha hai?
Idhar dekh.
Idhar dekh.
Exactly.
So Bogus, the third test has completed.
Dark Swamp series, Brute. This time it's not just Joe Root and Jimmy Anderson that's versus India.
Yeah.
The rest of them also showed up. They decided to say hi.
Yeah, they woke up just like you after some time.
Pretty
I think
much,
they needed 180 episodes of practice. So they're like, oh, now we'll play reals. It was all trials till now.
Thanks, bro. I mean, that was the intention behind what I did earlier.
This segue?
It was a metaphor
Uh-huh.
for how the rest of the team showed up all of a sudden in the third test when we were perfectly fine without them, actually. But
we didn't ask for them.
we didn't ask for it.
But they came, they gate crashed.
It's whatever. So, yeah, Dark Swamp series, third test. I call it the Resurgica Brittanica edition.
Of who?
Of the series.
Uh-huh.
Like how the previous one was the slope edition.
Okay.
And then this is Resurgica Brittanica.
I just feel that because it is being telecasted on Sony Live, which is your favorite channel.
Live, yes.
Right? Live.
Speaking
live.
of which, go ahead. You finish your thought. I have something.
Don't
to
ever butt in between.
Then I want to butt in.
Okay, no.
So speaking
you
of
should
Sony
never
Live,
stop referring to. First of all, stop writing notes. Okay, it has to come from the heart, Bogus. That's what podcasts are about.
yeah, I'm not writing notes now.
Yeah, but you're preparing. You can't prepare.
I didn't prepare.
Have you ever seen anybody prepare for a podcast?
I'm not preparing. I just, whatever thoughts I have then, I'll just write it down so I don't have to remember them.
See,
Because I want to forget.
lazy.
It's not lazy, it's clever.
Lazy, just like Indian batting in the third test. Lazy.
Just, you know, I
I
don't want us to digress too far. I want to remind you, you were saying something about Sony Live.
Sony Live. So because Sony Live is telecasting, the whole series,
Yeah.
I thought they felt like they have something to do with how the series is going about.
Oh,
The typical Indian Saas Bahu serial ka twist.
right.
Where you were like, okay, Bahu is given up now. There's no way for her to like regain her respect in the family, blah, blah, blah.
Wo Rashi
Suddenly,
too, bro.
Rashi comes with like a whole new troop
Yeah.
saying that, ye hai mera pati. And you're like, who the fuck is this guy, right?
Yeah.
It's exactly like that. Third test was exactly like that, starting from day one.
Also, you're saying the third test was sort of like the glass of buttermilk falling, unplanned, after lunch.
Absolutely.
And it was such an insult to the patriarch of the family.
Yeah.
Of course. You're saying the third
They
test
just
was like
walked out of the house.
that. Yes.
They're like, तूने छाछ गिरा दी. ये घर में हम नहीं रह सकते. And they're like, boop. They walked
So
out.
that was the third test.
That was the third test. I mean, if I have to sum it up, yes.
I mean, just
And England is the Bahu, by the way, just in case you're wondering.
no, bro. I'm just gonna say it like back to back. Two amazing metaphors for this
It's my day,
test
you know.
match.
Bogus.
No, I
It's
mean
my
I have
day.
the other one. Like two, you have one, I have one. So it's our day.
Hello.
Okay, it's our day.
Who gave the first metaphor?
Me.
No. उधर क्या देख रहा है इधर देख is my metaphor.
No, that
for
was
how
your,
you were
that was your
behaving.
punchline for the. I was behaving for the metaphor. I inspired you.
Shut up,
I was your
bogus.
muse.
Bogus. We were just digressing. We
always.
already digressed.
We already digressed.
We digressed.
We digressed.
5 minutes back.
But that was the feeling while watching our team play. I was zoning out. You know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
can you blame us?
I think I turned away from the screen at least like for 2 days.
Wow, it was a TV serial.
Yeah. So, but no, let's take it from the top, Bogus. What did you feel about the third test?
I mean, bro, seriously, it was like right from the first moment, like before the first ball was even bowled.
Yeah.
This whole thing was absolutely against India at every step of the way.
Yes.
There were no breaks. It was just relentless.
Yes.
Winning the toss for a change,
Yeah.
like a cruel twist, like a cruel joke.
Yeah. It's like
winning the toss, Kohli.
Yeah, it was like a decoy, you know?
I mean,
the perfect villain strategy.
Talk about decoys. Like, that was the mother of all decoys. Like, you give a guy who lost like 25 tosses
In a row.
Yeah. You give him one morsel like that.
Yeah,
his eyes lit up. Like,
yeah.
So who knows what they discussed about the decision, because Joe Root himself came out saying, the pitch is a bit iffy or janky or whatever he did.
Yeah.
Tacky, he said, yeah.
Tacky.
So he was happy to lose the toss. We won the toss.
Yeah.
And from there, it's like our planets were so misaligned
for
this test match. Everything went wrong to the point where, where I thought, okay, fine. We got 78 all out. It's okay. It's an aberration, maybe.
Yeah.
But the pitch is clearly doing things.
Yeah.
And we've got the ballers.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm waiting. I'm eager for our guys to come out and
Yeah.
start setting terms. Like, I expected Bumrah first over 2 wickets.
Yeah.
I was like waiting to see that. I was
Yeah.
sniffing it, okay?
Yeah. Because we did that last time.
Because, that happened.
Yeah.
And Ishant Sharma came and I was like, okay, fine, Ishant. At that point of time, I was not like, why they're giving Ishant and all that. Like, okay, fine, he might get something to do.
Yeah.
He has those surprise
In swingers.
Yeah. Then I saw Ishant Sharma at the top of his run up.
Yeah.
He's looking at the ball like this. Like I'm telling you, like with
you're showing me the expression as if our audience can see it.
It's an expression.
Make voices.
It's an expression of confounded disgust. Like he was looking at a brand new cherry red, dark cherry red.
It's like dark
Duke's
grape.
ball, dark grape Duke's ball. He was looking at probably one of the best things someone in his line of work wants to see, and he was looking at with confused disgust. And that is when, for me, it's like in a TV serial, the glass falls like
I was
the
about
glass
to
shatters.
say. Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, what the fuck am I watching right now? I'm watching Ishant Sharma.
हम ये घर में नहीं रह सकते.
Looking at the brand new Duke's ball
Yeah.
in confused disgust. And then, of course, he proceeds to ball his first over.
Yeah.
And from there, the rest was history.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's the reason I say that Sony Live has something to do with this. Because for once, across the series up till this test, Indian bowlers just came like any other soap opera lead actor who would come, then go away in 3 months, then another new guy comes and goes away. And, the cycle repeats itself. That is exactly how I felt. Bumrah failed. Siraj failed, who's probably in the best form of his life in terms of bowlers.
Yeah.
Ishant Sharma didn't get anything. Shami didn't get anything. So it was like pretty disturbing to see. And just the other day, we wrapped up England in like 60 overs in a pitch which didn't give half of what it was giving now.
And that's one of the things I was thinking. Like, we actually wrapped them up in like 50 odd overs in Lords. It was such an embarrassment, for many reasons.
I think there is a rationale behind why they bundled out like that. They saw the slope.
Yeah, of course.
They were confused. Like, why is the ball rolling?
What is
one
this logic?
side?
Like,
Yeah.
did anyone observe this in Lords?
Guys,
hundreds of years.
Ian, Nasser,
Yeah.
Michael, have you seen this? Why didn't you tell them about this? Like, why was this a secret?
What is this called? Is it an incline? Like, what do they call it?
But no, on their part, good batting. I think their key was the momentum was set by the openers.
Yeah. If we backtrack a little bit before that, right? I was just thinking.
I'm not talking about Indian batting. First innings.
I know. You're talking about, of course.
I'm not getting
No,
that.
that was a procession.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh my God.
It's like someone remembered one of the recent festivals we had, and it's like, oh, we're supposed to have a procession, right? Let's go. So, but no, there was too much of curiosity about what England was cooking, and England was cooking something just around that 4th, 5th stump.
Yeah.
And surprising that, because their cuisine is quite crap compared to ours, but still, Indian batsmen, they got them curious. On that day, that beans and sausage or whatever they were doing,
They were all Gordon Ramsay.
They were all Gordon Ramsays, yeah. They were doing Michelin star level of breakfast preparation. And Indian batsmen just could not, Just had to take a whiff, like, what is there?
All it took was leave the ball. Stop going behind the ball. Let the ball come to you. You've had 4 innings of practice for that. Don't go behind the ball. That was the most frustrating thing for me.
Yeah.
It was not the in-cutters that was taking those wickets, which was happening before. What frustrated me was they were all getting out at the 5th stump, which you should have left.
Yeah.
I know it's easier said than done, but I can say it because they're playing the game at the top level. And these are top players.
Oh, yeah.
You're not talking about Shreyas Iyer who came for the first time. You're not talking about Mayank Agarwal who came for the first time. You're talking about Virat Kohli's. You're talking about Cheteshwar Pujaras, Ajinkya Rahane's, Rohit Sharma's, all of these guys.
And put it another way, it's not something they're not aware of themselves. Like, everyone knows.
Yeah, I'm sure Ravi Shastri would have told these guys, dekh lena ball udhar dalenge.
Yeah.
Boom. It's like pearls of wisdom. And I'm sure every batsman was like, mujhe malum hai. Like, as they are walking to the ground, they're like, mujhe malum hai, bhai. Theek hai, tu tera pek bana le. But enough of Ravi Shastri jokes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about this match. It's like, and the one before, Lords, which is, we wrapped them up in like 50 odd overs. And they went back after all kinds of emotion and, all that. They came back calm and focused and tactical, like purely tactical. And we kind of went back and we just came back calm.
Yeah.
We came back zen. It's like pranayama.
Too much of gap. They shouldn't have given 10 days.
10 days.
10 days was too long.
Our guys would have partied like hell.
Or
celebrated.
Sightseeing.
Yeah,
Sightseeing the shit out of UK.
Yeah.
But, okay, let us break it down this way, okay? What annoyed you about the third test the most? Like, give me top 3 of yours.
For me, what annoyed me the most was like, come on, man, not even a break. Like, right from the toss, this test has been unfolding in a very fateful manner. It's not like, I could not put rationale. Like, why is everything like, as soon as our batting ends, the conditions switch and it becomes good for batting.
Yeah.
So the portion where the 40 overs, we rolled them in 50 odd in Lords, they rolled us in 40 odd.
Yeah.
In this place.
For like half the runs.
For half the runs. And they came back, they had lunch, and then there was a session later to play. Tea.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was like unbelievable.
Yeah.
How the conditions swapped. And once again, after the innings swap, also the conditions kind of went that way.
You're giving me monologue, bogus. I want top 3 things that annoyed you.
I guess there were 3 things in that.
Okay, so I have to figure it out. This is the quiz part of the show where you're like, okay, I've said my piece. Now figure out the top 3.
One thing, I won't say annoyed, but it kind of confounded me, which is I didn't understand why. There was that whole point, which it relates to something you already mentioned, which is
Sony
about...
Live.
No, it's about the bowlers, and the kind of bowling that happened. I was like, maybe there is something related to... It has something to do with the captaincy as well, the tactics and the choices.
Yeah.
That was kind of, I was not understanding like some stubborn things like Ishant Sharma starting at every start of play.
Yeah.
It is Ishant Sharma. It's like after you watched what happened in the first over, which is supposed to be like you're setting the momentum or you're setting the mood in the first over. It was fine to give Ishant Sharma there. He could have gone either way. But after you saw how that over came out, he was clearly not in rhythm. Like his physical movements were not as rhythmic as it were the previous test.
Yeah.
You could make out. Why again at every start of play when, by the way, you have a greater chance of getting a wicket, before a break and just after a break resumes. Why are you always insisting on starting the play with Ishant, when you've seen what's
Cool down. Calm down, buddy. Calm down.
I mean, I was running out of breath.
Yeah, actually. I know. So first and foremost, I think there's a lot of... I saw there was no plan B,
Exactly. Yeah, that's one of the things.
Which is the thing that annoyed me the most. When Rory Burns and whosoever the hell... Hamid started striking the ball, right? When they got that 50-run partnership, I almost immediately saw that there was no plan B.
Yeah, it
Like,
went
how
on,
were you
like,
planning to?
went on for a while, right?
Yeah.
And that was the other thing that in the same vein, which is not too many changes to, like, Jadeja took a long time to come. Siraj, a bowler who took 8 wickets in the previous test. Why is there an order of bowlers? Like, why Siraj always has to...
It's like a roll call.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
roll number 4, okay, you're there. Come.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why is it that way?
I don't know. I can't really. I mean, see that. I seriously don't understand that.
That's what for me in the test.
I get it.
Yeah.
But the thing that annoyed me the most was there was no plan B. They probably anticipated in the first 10 overs we'll take up both the wickets. Didn't happen. Then they thought, okay, fine, in the next 10 overs we'll take the wickets. Still didn't happen. And this went on for about like 60 overs. No, about like 30, 40 overs, right? That's where I think they should have like more homework. They were almost like, let Root come, we'll dikhayenge. And I was like, forget Root, take the other wickets. Root anyhow is in the peak of his form.
Yeah.
So there's no point running behind Root.
Yeah.
That is number one. The second thing that annoyed me the most was Root. Like, how can you pick a guy like this? How will you like take his wicket?
We were just
It's
not
almost
having
like
any answers.
yeah, there is no answer to this
The
guy.
guy
right?
was 180 not out. Like, we couldn't take him out.
And I'm like, dude, how can we not figure this guy out? So that was another part. The third part, which is more from our friend from the batting side, is when will you stop leaving the ball from the 5th stump? Like, stop chasing the ball, man.
Do you see the clip where a journalist was trying to give Kohli tips on the thing?
I mean, see, this is what
the back foot, Kohli.
Yeah.
The back foot.
Put it on the middle.
There's not a
stump.
question, by the way. Hey, do you have a pen? Like,
Like, you want me to message you or something?
Yeah,
Can I have your number?
Yeah.
Like, I already told Anushka this, but I think Anushka didn't tell you
The
this.
message didn't come across. The back foot play.
And this is exactly my problem, right? I don't want to be the guy who's like, yaar, 5th stump ke bahar ball chhod dena.
I know, it's like
It's like, I don't want to devalue you guys, but that's what they've been doing for so long. And there's a good point that Sunil Gavaskar told that. So obviously, guess who asked Sunil Gavaskar? Then why do people still keep playing that shot? Sanjay Manjurekar asked Sunil Gavaskar, like, if they know they have to leave the ball, on the 5th stump, then why do they still keep playing the ball? Sunil Gavaskar was simply like, that's the brilliance of the bowler. Like, he's making you feel that you have to go for the ball.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. But this particular test, I didn't see that happening a lot. These guys actually, I felt they probably have went behind the ball a little more than they should have.
Yeah, that's true.
And
although there was some difference there because Kohli, when he was batting, for that entire day that he batted, right, he was very diligent about, leaving outside. He was amazing that day.
Which is what I was about to say. You have the use case in the same fucking match.
The previous day.
The second innings.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The second innings when the partnership between Kohli and Pujara was a beautiful example of smart batting.
And Pujara was positive.
Yeah, a lot more positive. Good. And I think they've helped him get like a good head start.
Oh, yeah.
But having said that, you're not taking away anything from Pujara. But Kohli has left balls so beautifully on the second day that you're like, wow, this is, in my head, I was like, this guy got it sorted. Come the third day.
Wait, wasn't it the third day? Because
or fourth day,
England
whatever.
Also batted one whole day.
The fourth day. Come the fourth day. Boop. Goes behind the ball. I mean, he got a very good ball.
He got a very good ball, yes, but it was also Robinson. And Robinson has been taking Kohli like consistently by just staying consistent around that line where Kohli is coming out eventually. What happened was that whole day he was like monk-like disciplined on leaving everything. But the next day, as soon as he got to his 50, right, there was kind of a relief.
Yeah.
You could feel that.
But he should not be. Kohli don't get relieved by getting 50.
No, I don't blame him because it was very tough and he was really fighting. He's fighting his way into form, basically.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying don't get relieved when you get 50.
No, I think
get relieved when you get 100.
I know. But what I'm saying is just the amount of effort that he had to put in to fight his way back into form somewhat is where he could not escape taking relief after that 50. And immediately after that 50, right, you saw him. In that same over, I think the second ball or something, he went sniffing. And I was like, something changed.
It was actually the over before with Anderson. That's why the second innings, Kohli's wicket, half of the wicket is Anderson's, according to me.
Okay.
Because the over before, Anderson fucking he did what Anderson does, which no 40-year-old should do technically.
Yeah.
But he was doing it.
Right.
And you saw that he took a single or some shit like that, like on the fourth ball or something. But in that 4 balls, the damage was already done. That ambiguity that Kohli was away from
Right.
the previous day
Right.
got back.
Yeah.
Because Anderson did it. And then that's the reason, like, the way he got out.
And the passage of the day, like one day passed overnight. So it's very tough to come back
Yeah.
and again switch on. And
But you expect that from Kohli, right? Kohli has set that precedent that, let days pass, let months pass. I'm in the zone. And that is the Kohli that I'm missing. I want the Kohli who, like, is pumped. And not while, slip fielding. But I want him pumped when he's, like, batting.
yeah, that kind of
There's a different
mood
Yeah.
has not been visible in his batting
it's not
for
been
a
there.
while.
And that's what is annoying me. Annoyed number 4 is I don't see the Kohli that was Kohli.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to, like, put my finger on or blame him or anything. It's just that I don't see him.
I think
I want to see him.
I think only the Aussies in current day they can bring it out of him. But everyone else, they need to be a lot more in his face to get it out.
We need Mitchell Johnson back from retirement to, rattle up Kohli a little. But those are my 4 things that I was really annoyed with in the third test.
So you're done?
The match was done in 4 days. So 4 reasons are enough. Okay? Stop pushing me, bogus.
So
Don't try to, like,
the way Pujara went, like
don't wake up the dragon.
91 amazing runs.
Yeah.
But the way he went, I don't think he's ever going to do that to a seam bowler or a swing bowler again. Like put his leg out like that.
Brain fades, it's
Yeah,
a contagious
brand
disease.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a
Shane Warne is on the
contagious
ground.
disease. Yeah, I know. So I mean, yeah, dude. Like, I don't know why he did that also. I'll be very honest.
Even I was like,
A guy
how come?
who's a 91, who's seen enough balls in an innings, he could have played. You got a bat, play with a bat. That's why I like Dhoni a lot. Dhoni plays with a bat. He always tries to, even if he's defending badly, he's not technically great, but he always tries to play with a bat. And I just do not understand the need of padding a ball which is coming in.
But aren't most current batsmen rather not people who put their pad out like that? I mean, Pujara is one of the very few guys who still consistently even does that to spinners. After DRS, like majority of the guys have stopped doing it.
Okay, I'm not saying like padding the ball. I'm saying that
playing with the bat, you're saying, right?
Yeah, but there is a way that batsmen try to like camouflage their padding. They try to bring the bat behind the pad.
Right.
Which is what in general batsmen do that. What Dhoni used to do is he used to take the pad along with the bat. There's a difference in that. The bat is before the pad versus the bat being behind the pad. It's a tongue twister, dude. So when you're trying to, basically if you're playing with the bat behind the pad, you're scared that you might edge the ball to the short leg or square leg. That's why you're protecting the bat per se. Okay. But you're also negating the LBW decision just because you've still played a shot. So that is what I was telling. And if you look at Rohit Sharma's innings in general in this test, in this series, he's not pushing the bat, right? He's just like stopping the bat.
Oh, yeah.
So that is the difference. When you're trying to play with the bat, you always try to bring the bat before the pad.
But on the English side, like we said in our previous
episodes,
like the second test, etc., we were saying that England is slowly bringing in these additions that are actually contributing, and it's a better selection. It's improving like with every iteration that they're doing. So now Malan came in. Yeah. Malan did good.
Malan did really good. I honestly didn't expect Malan played.
Hardly played, test matches in the recent past. Yeah. And he just came and hit that.
I think this is his debut, no? I think this was Malan's test debut.
No, I don't think so, no. Dude, he's in his 30s. No, he's played test before. He's played test before. But he didn't play much.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Malan came in, he did good. Craig Overton came in, he did good. He bowled really well.
He bowled crazy, dude. For the first time. He took 8 wickets in the match?
Did he?
Yeah, first innings a 5-4.
No, there was no only 5-4 was Robinson, second innings. In the first innings,
I think it was 7 or 8 wickets.
In the first innings, right, Robinson got wickets, Overton got wickets, Sam Curran got wickets, and if I'm not wrong, I think Moin was the only guy who didn't get any wicket, but the rest, all of them got wickets.
Okay, surprising.
So there were no 5-4s. It was spread across. In the second innings, Robinson took 5. But without that one guy, it would have still made a huge difference, actually. I mean, for them, Robinson coming in, like after their, Diwali release blockbuster bonanza level players are all sitting out, like Broad, Jofra and all these people. Still, you get this guy coming in. Yeah. And he's just killing it.
They bowled well.
Oh, yeah. Like relentless. Like it was good.
Yeah, the first innings, I wouldn't say much because I felt it was bad batting. To be honest,
I mean the conditions were in their favor, dude.
Still
and
bad
those
batting.
Guys, I mean, still bad batting. I agree. But
because we've dealt with these kind of conditions before also. Where the
what I'm
opening
trying to say is
partnership played
it
it
was
out.
in their favor. Like, I'm not talking about the batting. From the bowler's perspective, it was in their favor.
Every
and they did it
innings where India batted was in the favor of the bowlers.
well.
Okay.
In this match. Yeah.
Okay. Let's be straight about. Let's put it once and for all.
Yeah.
Every innings that India batted,
It's just
it was always overcast somehow. The Lord of Thunder came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
There is bad light suddenly.
It's the Mercury retrograde was west facing.
Yeah.
Bit. It was
Like
not
the
facing-
bloody rooster that they follow was all over the place.
Yeah.
So that is not new. And we played in these kind of conditions before also, where KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma watched, like they saw it
True.
the first 20-30 overs.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was definitely a 78 innings kind of a wicket. But I was thinking like, okay, fine, 200, 250 would be a good score. Like a good first inning score in those conditions.
Right.
But 78, you can only get to 78 with absolutely bad batting. After being, 28 for no loss? Or no. Yeah, 28 for one.
No,
or
it
something.
started from the first over, dude, the wickets.
Yeah, I forgot. Like,
Anderson got in the first over itself.
it is, it's in my past. It's too
Yeah.
vague for me. One of those matches where I don't like to remember too many details.
No, I think it is the pain and the misery that you have to remember and analyze more.
I don't have to. No, especially when I know my strengths. See, write it down in your dumb notes. You should write
Balls are
stuff
written
like
down.
this.
I was like,
It's my strengths.
when
that
you
I
told me
remember.
like I'm not even watching it anymore, I was like, why would you stop watching? It is still good. It's not good for us, but it's still a good match.
No, because I know the result. I know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
There was no chance.
No, I'm not saying that why you stopped watching because we might have won. I'm not saying that. Even a losing thing, right? You see exactly what's happening.
No, I did watch.
What they did.
I did
You
watch.
told me you stopped watching midway or something.
Yeah, when Shami came out to bat at like 60, I stopped watching. I was like, okay, there's no point. I can't expect Shami to keep hitting half centuries again and again. It's very unlikely that it will repeat.
In first ball he went.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
First ball he went. Bumrah also first ball he went.
yeah. So all that was like pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that is true. But you still got to watch is what I'm saying.
Nah, no.
It's like
I didn't watch like how I would watch. Like,
you take it in and you let it fuel you. You know, you let it
No, I have
simmer
enough.
inside.
Bogus. I have enough fuel. Okay,
You have gas.
that's a form of fuel. Hello.
It is.
Yeah.
But
So
not-
stop.
It's
giving,
not rocket fuel. I mean, it's not
you.
very efficient.
You have what kind of nitroxide
It's not-
inside you?
I have the most. What do they call it?
You have the most
Efficient.
inefficient fuel.
The most efficient.
The pace at which you move.
I got rocket fuel. Bro.
No, the pace at which you got aluminum. That's all you got. Aluminum and yellow cake.
Yeah.
But anyways,
And it's a deadly combination, by the way.
but it's not about you. This podcast is not about you, Bogus.
It's about
It's
the
about what my important comments are about the occurrences that are happening in the world of cricket.
Go ahead.
That's it. I mean, like, with respect to the third test, this is all I have. I have only 4 things that annoyed me a lot. What made me happy is, yes, Pujara was kind of like in a good mood or in a good space.
Yeah.
The third day of Kohli's batting, where he was leaving the ball, I was like, okay, this guy got the trick. That was momentary happiness.
Right.
And that's about it.
For me, it was like there is something to this whole bad habits thing, where you watched what Root was doing in Lords when Shami Bumrah partnership was happening. And you were like, okay, this is going on beyond 5 overs, like 4 overs, 5 overs. Why is this going on beyond? Why is it taking this long? And when our fielding was happening, the bowlers, the way they were bowling and the fielding positions, like I heard 2 or 3 commentators ask, why are there 3 people on the leg side boundary? Like for so long. For an extended duration of time, right? There were 3 guys on the leg side.
Yeah.
And the bowler was in his own basic plan. He was in his own zone. And this guy was in his own zone. They couldn't understand why it was going on for a long time. And then the other thing, like I said, Siraj. Like, why
Was Siraj not being bowled?
Why is there a roll call? Like, if there's a guy who just took 8 wickets in the previous match, okay, and if there's a guy who just came in, who Siraj makes him awkward, why is he not coming on? Like, I mean, if I know this, no expert at all, far from it, then how come,
Maybe we don't have the inside juice. Maybe Siraj was having a niggle, or
It's possible, yeah.
we don't know about that. But
But
the
Siraj is
fielding-
having a niggle at the start of a match. Like, he never opens. He never, starts
Siraj is
the innings.
never like a new ball bowler. He's always a first change.
I mean, you gotta try it, man, just to change things up.
We did try it. in Australia, and he did well. He picked up 5 wickets. So they didn't do it. Like, I don't have another explanation.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, is there something to this bad habits thing where captains tend to get into this pattern of, just maybe there is some comfort in knowing that this is how it's going to go?
Or maybe this is the new way of playing cricket, saying that let's stick to the plan. Back in the day, it's not much of like a plan, right? Everybody you look at captaincies of Steve Waugh or Stephen Fleming from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Saurav Ganguly. All these guys, Wasim Akram, that era, the 90s way of playing game.
Yeah.
There was no plan per se. There was a plan for a batsman. There was not a game plan. There was no overall game plan.
Okay.
Right? But now things seem to be very different. I think there is an overall game plan. We'll bounce out this session.
Yeah, but I think...
Because it's the same thing even happened in Australia. They kept bouncing for no reason.
I was exactly going to say that because it reminded me of that moment.
Yeah.
Where we got to know later that in the dressing room or in the coaching room... Or
the elite room.
The elite... No, it's a bowling coach. Like he washed his hands
The elite bowling coach.
Yeah,
it's a trickle effect, bro.
Yeah. The elite bowling coach, basically, these bowlers, they got told that at this point of time in the day, at this hour, this is the spot we'll be bowling.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Like, to me, efficient strategy always is like a combination of the macro and the micro. You can't just say, let's have an overall game plan at the macro level and then walk out and then just stick to that no matter what's happening in the field.
Which is what it is looking like.
So at the same time, it is good to have an overall game plan, yes, but you also have to be open to reacting or responding to what's happening.
Because if you look at on the hindsight now, because look at how did they try to take out Joe Root. Okay, let's just look at the piece where across the series, how did they bowl to Joe Root?
Okay.
I don't know if you know this, by the way. Joe Root has a weakness of the in cutter.
I've seen them try that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So not just now. So back in the day, Pat Cummins had that plan. Mitchell Johnson had that plan. Mitchell Stark had that plan where they bring the ball from wide of the crease and into the stump.
And that's how Bumrah got him also, right?
That's how he got out every single time. Right? Like whenever he got out, that's how he got out. But the funny thing that I don't see the setup, I just see that blindly they're just bowling in and they're expecting that he'll give the wicket.
Maybe I missed it, but the only bowler that I observed was at least trying to do that setup gameplay within an over, like Anderson, was Bumrah on our side. Like I didn't notice anyone else even trying.
I thought didn't see it. You're trying to take the guy who's scoring 80% of the runs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, that's where the conversation should start, right? Okay, fine. Who's going to attack Root how?
Yeah.
And I don't know who said it. There was a funny thing he said, like, sometimes we are too lost in the strength or the weakness of the batsman that we as a bowlers forget our strengths, Like, for example, Siraj has a beautiful outswinger. But you see that all he's been bowling was in cutters, right? The one out cutter he bowled, he got Joss Butler in the last test. So, what is the game plan here? How are you setting up the pace of the test? Right. Are you just thinking that this is the game plan for the session? Let's just stick to it. Let us stick to the process. The outcome will come.
I like your point from a bowler's perspective more or less. But from a captaincy point of view, speaking of a guy who scores 80% of the entire squad's runs.
Right.
There are two highest scoring every time. Right square to him, he bunts it and he takes a single.
Right.
Always keeps changing strike by just doing that.
Right.
There's never a guy there. Then so many runs the team gets in the fine leg this thing.
Yeah.
There's never a guy at the boundary. Why and how come? Like I never understood this also.
There are two reasons. One, the fine leg, I don't get it. I don't get why they're doing that. You can at least don't give him that breather, right?
Exactly.
But I get the point, that bunting point. The reason is you want Root to play the shot. So it's like you leave the covers open and wants the batsman to drive against the spin. So when you try to do that, you either get beaten and get bowled or LBW.
But I'm not talking about a drive. This is something he's just touching or jabbing it.
Yeah.
Just to take a single.
So what happens, it looks easy, but bunting is not an easy shot because you can easily nick the ball. If all it takes is a 2-inch of sudden bounce. So they are allowing that because one, it's not a very high scoring shot. If I was a captain, I wouldn't have a problem with that shot because I'm just waiting for that one ball which will bounce unevenly or probably cut in a little more.
What about the fact that he's also not playing it to get a boundary or anything? His whole objective is to keep rotating the strike.
Correct.
So you're giving him what he wants.
See, if you look,
None of the bowlers are able to get 4 or 5 balls in a line to him.
Now, the other thing about that is, am I getting the other guy's wicket faster? As a captain, my job is to take 10 wickets, right? If the other guys are not confident, and which was the case, right? Like literally nobody was having any ounce of confidence in the first 2 test matches. If I'm getting the wickets of the other guy, then maybe that is what is the ploy altogether, that I want my bowlers to spend more time to a batsman whose name is not Joe Root.
Got it.
Right? So I'll give him that easy single, put him on the other strike, frustrate him, where he's seeing that his batsmen are getting beaten, giving the wickets, etc., etc. So that's what I would probably do.
It's possible. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, as a captain, that's what I would see, because this guy is in the form of his life and we don't know how to pick him out. And I don't know if you've read by the way, Dale Steyn retired.
Of course.
I cried. Okay. Dale Steyn was asked the question, like, how did you deal with Sachin? And Dale Steyn was like, I gave him a single because I went for the babies.
Right.
And sometimes great bowlers think like that because they don't want to get into a fight where they might waste their energy.
Right.
Especially in a test, it's all the more important that you're using your energy in the right cause, right?
Yeah, and the objective is to win the match. It is not to get
it's not like an ego
Yeah.
massage. Like, I want to get Joe Root's wicket.
Yeah.
Even if it takes 30 overs of me bowling. No, that's not how you play the game, right? So that bunting piece, I get it. I never got the fine leg. I still don't understand why they didn't have a leg.
Dude, Malan also kept scoring there. Like, crazy. A lot of his runs he scored in fine leg. It's crazy.
I don't know. I don't know if they were hoping that at one of the balls he'll get beaten and, he'll...
nick it to slips?
No, LBW. My guess is they were hoping that he'll get beaten one of the ball and he'll be a victim for LBW or something like that.
My only guess is that they were hoping that he would nick it to slips.
It's impossible for him to nick it for the ball when the ball is coming on the middle and leg stump.
No, he has to open the face of the bat to
for the bunting.
Fine leg.
You're talking about the third man or the fine leg? Fine leg is behind the bat.
Third man. I'm talking about the
third man. That's a bunting piece. That I get it. Yeah. Even I said the same thing. They're just hoping that the ball would probably bounce that half inch or 2 inches
if
extra.
not, there should be some safety also, right, at third man boundary, because how many runs they scored?
He was not getting too many runs from the boundary.
Malan got a lot of runs.
Malan, you're saying?
Malan and
Malan.
Both Root and Malan, dude.
Malan, see, okay. Overall, they didn't bowl well to Malan.
Yeah, but it's like even when they bowl well, they get away with boundaries there. Why not keep the pressure going by just keeping a guy on the boundary there?
No, I wouldn't mind.
It would frustrate them, right? He would force him to look elsewhere for a shot.
You will open up the whole ground. If you're going to concentrate your fielders in one place, right? Then you're giving 2 easy singles. It's not an easy shot. When you have 3 slips and a gully, right? It's not very easy to score at the third man region unless it's like an edge or like, those half-hearted, like the bat twisted and the ball like flew through the gap or something like that. So as a batsman, you're not consciously trying to score from third man. So you'd rather block my covers and like you see my scoring shots, right? That's what they call. Scoring shots are the ones where I'm actually trying to play the shot. As a batsman, if I figure out that the bowler is going to bowl an in-cutter, I would try to navigate the ball somewhere in like wide of mid-on, go for a single or try to like flick it off my legs. Do stuff like that.
But yeah, second innings batting as well, the final day.
Yeah.
Sun's out.
Yeah.
But still, the procession did not stop.
I think we were following the Delhi ka role. Like only odd numbers will play well. Like we'll play... No, so the even number days will play well. The odd number days will not play well. Right. Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we just seem to be liking collapse. Yeah.
Anyways, but third test was forgettable. It's self-explanatory. We are covering the third test because we are good sportsmen. We are not those, we appreciate the sport. It's not like we don't show favoritism or anything.
But on the flip side, for England, this test must have been like the Queen is saved. Flowers are blooming. It's sun is shining. It's like everything just went.
They haven't won a test in the last 15 tests.
And just imagine in one shot you get all of your pace bowlers taking wickets.
Yeah. All your batsmen scoring runs.
Your opening batsmen, all this Hamid, all these guys also coming and scoring runs.
Yeah.
And it's just, even in the second innings, sunny day, they just wrapped us up nicely before lunch or something.
Yeah.
And
they won by an innings.
It's like
it didn't look like
that. Wala phaad ke diya bas.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like you suffered enough.
Yeah.
My dear England. The Great Britain shall rise again. And then they started knocking coconuts.
For this one test. That's it.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's it.
Hopefully that this will be the start and end of their prosperity in tests. And let's go back to only Joe Root.
Yeah, we were happy.
Yeah.
Root and Anderson, hey, we'll celebrate these guys for you.
You're legends.
Legends, living legends. Rest of you shut up.
Don't make any more of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you two are enough.
That's it. That's all we needed. That's all we wanted to. I mean, those are the two guys we wanted to meet, actually.
Yeah.
The rest of them, it's like,
Those are the only two guys who follow ThyGap podcast.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
That's why they are who they are.
Ma'am,
So
39-year-old Jimmy Anderson has a wonderful taste in podcasts.
So if you want to become like Jimmy Anderson or Joe Root, then you need to follow ThyGap podcast.
This is the only activity overall that Jimmy Anderson does in his life with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Listening to ThyGap podcast.
Yes, absolutely. This is how he goes to sleep.
With a smile on his face.
This is with a smile on his face. With happy dreams.
Yes.
But that's about what we have to say about third test. Do you have anything else?
And as we speak, the fourth one is going on and is poised at a very
let's
tantalizing
let's
position.
save ourselves some content.
Look out for our next episode in the DarkSwamp series, which will be on the fourth test, which is ongoing right now.
Yeah.
Even we don't know what's going to happen. What do you guys think about the third test? I think both Brute and I had enough points to bitch about, but they were also different in a way. But we'd love to hear what you guys have to say. mindthygap@gmail.com is where you write in and pour your hearts out.
Absolutely.
It's like a counseling session, or what do they call it, where everyone sits in a chair.
Intervention.
No, I mean support group. It's a support group.
What is wrong with intervention?
It's different. Intervention is a different meaning, different intention.
Who are you to decide, Bogus?
I am deciding right now.
Let us try to clarify, okay? Who are you to decide? You can't decide like that. We are using intervention. It's like an intervention, guys. Like, write to us and you'll feel accepted.
What do you guys believe? Is it intervention or is it support group? You decide. But join us next week.
It's revenge time.
It's time for revenge.
We have your house keys.
All right, guys, that's about it from ThyGap podcast. I have to break it off now, otherwise Brute is never going to stop. So, Brute, as always, like we always say, ThyGap, subscribe
and share with your friends and family. Listen to it in your car while you're driving.
And share.
Okay. You're not going anywhere without, following us on our socials. Instagram @_ThyGap, Twitter @ThyGap, and Facebook ThyGap it is. Or why not write email to us, mindthygap@gmail.com. For other people who only use Apple, you can also give us a rating and leave a comment on our ThyGap podcast. Because you know what all doctors say, ThyGap podcast. Subscribe and share.